ISUPK.
We'll come here, and then I'm going to wrap, because I'm talking a lot today.
Have you faced racial discrimination during your life, and do you think systemic racism exists in America?
I have faced racial discrimination in my life. It has come from people of diverse races. I don't think racism is limited to one race, actually. But I also don't let it ruin my life. Have I stubbed my toe? Yes, I have. Is it pleasant when your toe is stubbed? No, it is not. But you don't let it ruin your life. So hardship is something that happens to you. Victimhood is a choice. Hardship is not the same thing as victimhood. And I reject the narrative of systemic racism because I think it is a fake, made-up concept to apologize for the failures of actual real systems, like a failing educational system that tells poor kids they're trapped in the zip code that they're born in. Failed systems that drive the fatherlessness epidemic in this country by the government fueling it. Many black kids are born into fatherlessness today, many more than were in 1950. Who created that? Lyndon Johnson and the federal government. So they blow woke smoke to deflect accountability for their own failures. I believe in getting to the root cause rather than virtue signaling with fancy made-up terms like systemic racism made to make people feel better about themselves. No, I believe in the truth.
What do you think?
Hey, shalom, Israel. Hey, if y'all just watch this video, this cat is Ramaswamy. He's the former governor of Maryland, right? I guess he's a Republican. He for sure tries to use Trump recipe. But basically, this cat here, he have a great disdain for blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, right? I'm talking about a great one, right? If you just watch the video, right, the reporter just asked him, has he ever faced discrimination? And does he believe that America, or does systemic racism exist in America, right? So he said he never faced discrimination and he doesn't believe in systemic racism. But if y'all hear what he started talking about, he started talking about systemic racism. And guess who he used when he said, fathers are missing in the household? Everything that he said, he was saying it to black people. He said black people, black kids doesn't have their fathers. Everything that he said was a contradiction. So there is a system in America, and that is systemic racism against blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. But let's get some more.
Do you think Juneteenth is a useless holiday?
I basically do. Single day voting on election day. We will make election day a holiday in the United States of America, so there's no complaints about it. Cancel Juneteenth or one of the other useless ones we made up. Okay? We can't have like everything be a holiday, but we'll cancel one of the other ones and make election day a holiday. Paper ballots and government issued voter ID that matches the voter file. That is what we will do.
Going back to your election security plan, you said you wanted to have a holiday. You said maybe cancel Juneteenth or one of those other useless holidays. Do you think Juneteenth is a useless holiday?
I basically do. Yeah.
Do you think Memorial Day, Veterans Day are useless holidays?
I don't, because I stand with the presumption of time-tested traditions. Like I said, religion is, I call these things cults. I won't dignify them as religions because religions have withstood the test of time. And so I think that if we made a national commemorative holiday for everything that's important and happened in our history, we'd have no working days left. But I think that the spirit of Juneteenth, we already channel into other holidays, like Martin Luther King Day, like President's Day. I think we can commemorate the spirit of that holiday separately. So I think that we shouldn't have redundant holidays that celebrate overlapping purposes. It should have a distinct purpose. And I think, let's be honest, the reason for making that a holiday was under political duress. It was a political hostage situation on the back of the death of George Floyd. And I think that that should not be how we create holidays. We should not create holidays with a cultural gun to our head. And that's what happened with Juneteenth.
I want y'all to remember why he brought up George Floyd. He doesn't give a damn about George Floyd. Hell, he threw black people to the wind all day. And He said that Juneteenth was a useless holiday. And when he said it, you seen how all the Caucasians in there clapped and they got even more, you know, encouraged and happy that he said that, because they feel the same way. He's trying to use Trump recipe. But what he don't know is Juneteenth came before Memorial Day. Dummy. Dumb. Juneteenth, he said that Juneteenth doesn't stand the test of time. So keep Memorial Day. But Juneteenth actually started before Memorial Day. So Ramaswamy, should we now just get rid of Memorial Day? Because it's proof that Juneteenth stood the test of time more than Memorial Day, right? So we should get rid of Memorial Day, right? Yeah. Now I want y'all to see how clueless these political leaders are. I want y'all to see how much idiots they are, man. And it shows you that they use the hatred of black people to get votes and to get the victory, man. It says, Vivek Ramaswamy, the CEO of Anti-Woke Inc., which really is code word for anti-black, anti-Hispanic, anti-native. Remember I said he hated George Floyd, right? Now, this article came out May 2020, you know, during the unaliving of George Floyd and when the protest was happening, right? This cat here, he was mad and he just hate the fact that black people was getting some type of justice. So, you know, this article shows who he really is and his spirit, you know. So let me read this article. It says, in May 2020, as he was working on the manuscript, George Floyd was murdered by a police officer in Minneapolis, and cities across the country erupted with protests. Corporate executives began issuing statements expressing sympathy and support for racial injustice. A photo circulated of Jamie Dimon, the CEO of J.P. Morgan Chase, kneeling in apparent solidarity. Ramaswamy, unsurprisingly, was annoyed. It says he was annoyed at that. Kneeling. Now, y'all remember when, you know, the football players was kneeling, right? And they didn't like that either, you know. So Ramaswamy was annoyed that the CEO of J.P. Morgan Chase was kneeling in solidarity of the unaliving of George Floyd. I'm going to read on. The murder of George Floyd was tragic, he wrote in Woke Inc., but it was also tragic that thousands of people of all races died of diseases every day that could be better treated by a broken healthcare system. Now, this cat, he's not saying anything specific, right? You know, or anybody specific, but specifically, George Floyd was unalive. And this is about George Floyd. Now, this is what people do outside of black people. You know, they when you bring up something about what's going on, what they doing to us, they'll say, oh, what you doing to each other, you know? And it shows the actual hatred and indiscriminate lack of empathy that you will have for the people that's being unalive, right? So let me read on. It says employees at Roivant 2 wanted Ramaswamy to issue a statement of support for Black Lives Matter. Instead, he sent a company-wide email that acknowledged the painful week and the protests and advised his staff to stay safe. This did not go over well. A colleague accused him of being deaf-toned, and many of the young people Roivant had recruited demanded to know how the company was addressing systemic racism in its subsidiaries. He later wrote, "There was something curious to me about corporate America's fixation on the BLM movement. Even as other obvious injustices continued to abound, I was personally appalled by China's persecution of its Uyghur population." But he went on, none of my employees or directors expressed concern to me about these human rights violations. Now, the colleagues accuse him of, being deaf-toned and all of that, right? And they want him to issue an apology, but he didn't. And I think, you should let somebody be exactly who they are. So the people on the other side can see who they are and know who they should stand with. So you shouldn't force him to write an apology or nothing like that. I just want black people to see who really hates them, who really don't care about their sons and daughters being unalive in the streets of America, who don't care if they starve, who overlooks the racism, who don't give a damn about you. And once you see that, then you give all your love to your own people. Now, remember in the article we just read, right, Ramaswamy said that George Floyd protests annoyed him and it was a painful week. And he told his employees to be safe, stay safe out there, right? Now, in this little article right here, it says, Vivek Ramaswamy says, will pardon January 6 protesters if elected U.S. president. Now, America now has two-tiered justice system. Antifa and Black Lives Matter rioters roam free while peaceful January 6 protesters are imprisoned without bail, Vivek Ramaswamy said. Now, he called Black Lives Matter rioters, but he called the January 6 insurrection protesters peaceful. Now, y'all have to remind me, what was peaceful about the insurrection on January 6th? They went in there trying to unalive people, and they went in there, I forget the lady's name, but they was talking about sexually assaulting her and all of that. So you telling me an insurrection, on the state capitol is peaceful, but Black Lives Matter are rioters and you must stay safe from them, right? This proves that he hates black people, because black people was out there protesting and not being rioters, but they was protesting the unaliving of another black man, right? But Ramaswamy, being the hypocrite that he is, he called the so-called protesters, which was rioters, in January 6th, he called them peaceful. And he said he would pardon them if he becomes president. So he wasn't annoyed at that, but he was annoyed at black people. Now, black people, y'all remember that. Here's another article where Ramaswamy, he liked to put out that pitch, the immigrant pitch, like his family fought hard to come over here. They crossed waters and, they went through it all just to make it over here and become something in life. Well, that is a lie. His family was rich. In this article, it tells you that. And I'm going to tell y'all another thing. The majority of the people that come over here as immigrants from other countries, the majority of them are well educated, and they're almost rich. They come from a high class status in their country. So the majority of them don't come over here and they fought to come over here, because the people that are poor in those countries, they can't even afford to leave the villages that they are in. So don't believe that notion that if my family came over here and made it, you can make it. So don't make any excuses. Your family wasn't put through 400 years of slavery and went through all manners of evil. Your family didn't have to cross the rivers filled with alligators, and your children, you're starving and drug infested, countries. Your family have to go through that, man. the Mexicans going through that, and you trying to slight them. Get what I'm saying? So y'all don't believe that, the immigrant story, because the majority of them, the immigrants that come over here, they already have it made in their own country. And the reason why they can get over here the majority of the times because they can damn afford to come over here, right? They're already educated over there. They just get more education over here. And it costs, and it's not a fight, you know, because they got money and they got status in their own country. You get what I'm saying? So don't believe that notion that if they can make it, you can. They didn't go through what you blacks and Hispanics went through for hundreds of years, you know. But let me get to this article. It says that Ramaswamy likes to stress that the family entered the United States legally, a dig at undocumented immigrants. But while the candidate's immigrant story is part of his pitch and his family's hometown of Vadakincherry was lacking in first world comforts, he hardly came from humble roots. His family were Brahmins, members of the highest Hindu caste. Ramaswamy says he also learned about status and inequality between Brahmins like his family and the rest of Indian society. Kings were below us, he wrote in his book, Woke Inc. So yeah, this cat came from the highest class in the Indian society, right? Brahmins is the highest class system in the Indian society. It's like 5 class systems in the Hindu caste, right? And Brahmins are at the top and kings are below Brahmins, right? So this cat, he came from a family of top-notch family members, right? And it also said he learned about status and inequality between the Brahmins, like his family, and the rest of Indian society, right? So that means, like, all that talk about, oh, there's no such thing as racial inequality and all of that, he's a damn lie. He learned about that in his society because he was at the top. You think he don't know that there's a system set up against blacks and Hispanics? You think he don't know that? It says in this article that he does know. And he is at the top of the chain in the society, man, of his own country. Check this out. This is the Indian caste system, right? You see, it's 5 class systems, you know, and look at the bottom. You got the street sweepers, you know, basically the janitors, right? And then next up, you got the farm workers, you know, and next up, you got the merchants, the craftsmen, you know, the landowners. Above that, you have the kings and rulers and warriors. Now, look what's above the kings. The Brahmins, man. This is the class system he comes from. The top people. Ain't nobody above him in the Indian society. So you think he don't know what's going on in America and the inequality of blacks and Hispanics? Yeah, he knows. Yeah, he knows, but do he care? No, he does not. He sees you, blacks and Hispanics, as the street sweepers, as the untouchables, as the people that don't deserve any type of justice, even though you are being cast down in the streets like dogs. He sees it. Yeah, he sees it, but why should a Brahmin care about the plight and the fight and the cries and the injustice of a no-good street sweeper? Y'all remember that. Now, he got some damn nerve to come up against God's chosen people. He got some nerve to get proud and be real disrespectful against the children of the Most High. Now, this is his people. Now, watch this video. His people, he talk about our people, but look at his people have doo-doo festivals, right? Doo-doo dung throwing festivals, cow dung, cow doo-doo. They look at the video. They think that this throwing doo-doo on each other will have them not get infected by coronavirus? Cow doodle, right? Check out your Brahmins. Jeremiah chapter 49 verse 37. For I will cause Elam to be dismayed before their enemies and before them that seek their life. And I will bring evil upon them, even my fierce anger, saith the Lord. And I will send the sword after them till I have consumed them. See, the Lord, he's no joke. The Lord do not play. The Lord said you're going to be dismayed before your enemies. He's going to have you in terror. You're going to be horrified in front of your enemies, man. And those that seek your life, those that wants to unalive you, you are going to see. You're going to be horrified. He going to bring evil on Elam, man. He going to bring his fierce anger. And he going to consume them with the sword, man. Whether it be firearms or them nuclear bombs, Elam will be consumed, thus saith the Lord. Every idle word that you spoke against the Lord's chosen people, you're going to have to pay for that. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, lift y'all heads up, man. Lift them up. Because a day is coming that a people that have doo-doo festivals and doo-doo fights and wipe their behinds with their hands and unsanitized won't be able to lift a finger against you. Won't be able to utter a word against you. They will be at the bottom being street sweepers. The Brahmins will be at the bottom being street sweepers. And you're going to know in that day that the Lord has done it. So remember that the next time a nobody say you ain't worth nothing. Remember that when a Brahmin say you ain't nothing but a street sweeper. Just know you got a God, a real God in heaven that will wipe out the whole earth for you, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Remember that. And remember, the Lord is going to make the Brahmins your street sweepers forever. Shalom.
You hearing that noise, you hearing that pound, you hearing that voice. That's what is that sound? That's boots on the ground and we on the move. That's Jenna Johanna taking your town. If you are at home, please do not try this. We are not hoes, we are not modest. It can get violent if you ain't bought it. I will advise you, stick to your side. There's plenty of shoes fit for you. Please stay in your lane and that'll be cool. You the type to scream up if you buck in the club. We rockin' stilettos, hold with red. We are not the same, you and me. We are not the same, you and me. I do not get high, I do not wife hoes. We are not the same, you and me. I come from the hood, surviving them booms. Everybody on drugs and dodging them goons. And don't give a fuck, they taking your jewels. If you got the guns, they making the rules. You niggas say you crime bosses and mob ties, and that sound good on the outside. I know warlords is just righteous enough not to kill and race your whole bloodline. I'm in the bodega, everything fuego except NYPD. I'm not from New York, but I put on my Timbs and stomp your ass out and turn you to a chopped cheese. Everywhere I go, I got my shield on. Everywhere I go, I got my zeal on. Everywhere I go, I got my kill on. That model 52 nil on. That gun is loaded, them my woad is Henny poet. You already know it. We the coldest beef, we smoke.